On the edge of the Nevada desert, where lights shine brighter than the stars and music drifts into the warm night air, thousands of people once gathered to celebrate life, love, and song. It was October 1st, 2017, a Sunday evening that felt ordinary to some and magical to others. At the Route 91 Harvest Festival in Las Vegas, the music carried over the crowd like a gentle blanket, wrapping everyone together in shared joy. Friends laughed, couples held hands, and strangers swayed in rhythm, brought close by melodies under the glittering sky. For many, it was a night they had looked forward to for months, a chance to escape routine, to sing along to familiar lyrics, to feel free in a city known for dazzling escapes. Among the crowd were families, young people just beginning their journeys, and older souls who had collected years of stories. There were teachers, nurses, parents, and students. Some had traveled far, saving for this trip, planning it carefully. Others lived nearby, taking the opportunity to soak in the music of a warm Nevada night. Every individual carried their own dreams, their own reasons for being there. Some were celebrating anniversaries, some friendships, some new love. All had come together with the hope of making memories that would last forever. As the evening grew deeper, the stage lights glowed golden, and the sound of country music washed through the night. The performers gave their hearts to the audience, and the crowd responded with cheers and dancing. The festival, spread across 13 acres of open space near the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino, felt alive and safe. It was a world within a world, a place where reality softened and music became the language everyone spoke. For many, this was their happy place, a break from struggles back home, a pause from stress, a chance to breathe. No one could have imagined that within moments, this joy would be touched by shadows. High above, in a hotel room on the 32nd floor of Mandalay Bay, a man sat surrounded by silence. His presence was invisible to those below, and his thoughts were known only to him. Days before, he had carefully arranged his space, bringing with him things that belonged not to leisure, but to destruction. From his window, he could see the festival grounds clearly. To him, the music was faint, distant. To those on the ground, he was no one, just another anonymous face in a city of countless visitors. He did not share their joy, nor their connection, and in the quiet, between songs, he made a choice that would forever alter the lives of thousands. It began softly, so softly that at first people weren't sure what they were hearing. The crack of sound was faint against the thrum of music. Some thought it was part of the show, maybe fireworks, maybe speakers popping. Laughter didn't stop right away, nor did the dancing. But slowly, confusion spread. The noise repeated, sharper this time, and eyes turned toward the sky, toward the ground, toward each other. The music halted. The crowd stirred. What had been a song-filled night became an echo of uncertainty. Within seconds, the atmosphere shifted. Some ducked instinctively, some froze, and some began to run without knowing exactly where. Voices rose, not in cheer, but in fear. The festival grounds, so open and filled with light, suddenly felt vast and difficult to escape. Yet even in that moment, stories of courage began to unfold. Friends shielded friends. Strangers pulled one another down to safety. Parents wrapped arms around children. While confusion and fear swept across the grounds, compassion also found its place. It is in moments of crisis that the truest human instincts are revealed, and countless individuals that night discovered strength they never knew they had. The night stretched on, though the event itself lasted only minutes. By the time the sounds ceased, the festival grounds had changed forever. In the end, 58 people had lost their lives on that night, and 2 more would pass in the following years due to their injuries, bringing the total to 60. Hundreds were physically wounded, and countless others carried scars that could not be seen. Families across the country waited for news, some receiving the calls they feared, others holding on to miracles. The city of Las Vegas, known for lights and entertainment, became the site of the deadliest mass shooting in modern American history. In the hours that followed, questions filled the air. Who was the man behind the window? Why had he done this? How had he managed to prepare for such a terrible act unnoticed? Investigators worked through the night, combing the hotel room he had left behind. Inside, they found what he had planned so carefully: multiple firearms, equipment, and evidence of a mind determined to cause harm. Yet even with all the searching, one answer continued to elude everyone. Why? The man had left no clear message, no declaration, no explanation. He was a puzzle with missing pieces, and in many ways, he still is. Authorities traced his history, speaking to his family, his acquaintances, and those who had crossed paths with him. They discovered a life that seemed unremarkable to many. A man without strong public opinions, without known affiliations, without the signals that often warn of something so destructive. He was not impoverished, nor desperate in ways that would explain such a choice. His motives, if they existed clearly in his own mind, were buried with him when he ended his life in that hotel room before officers could reach him. For investigators, this lack of clarity became one of the greatest frustrations. For families of the victims, it left a hollow question mark where justice often begins. The investigation expanded into every detail. How did he bring so much equipment into the hotel unnoticed? Could it have been prevented? Could lives have been saved with different precautions? Policies were examined, security procedures questioned, and the city grappled with the weight of what had happened. Yet alongside these questions, stories of bravery rose to the surface. First responders who ran into danger to help the injured, festival goers who stayed behind to guide strangers to safety, medical teams who worked tirelessly through the night to save lives, all became part of the narrative. In tragedy, their compassion became a light. In the weeks that followed, vigils filled the streets. Candles were lit, names were read aloud, and tears were shared among strangers who suddenly felt connected. The city that had always represented glitter and escape became a place of mourning, yet also resilience. Across the country, people reached out with prayers, donations, and tributes. The phrase Vegas Strong appeared on signs, t-shirts, and billboards, a reminder that even in darkness, a community could stand tall. For the families who had lost loved ones, it was not enough to fill the emptiness, but it was a hand to hold in their grief. Time has moved forward since that night, but its impact remains. Survivors carry memories that resurface in quiet moments, in sudden sounds, in anniversaries that arrive each October. Families continue to honor those they lost, keeping their stories alive, ensuring they are remembered not just for how their lives ended, but for how they lived, their laughter, their kindness, their dreams. The site of the festival, once a place of music, now holds the weight of remembrance. Plans for permanent memorials have grown, ensuring that generations to come will understand the lives cut short and the resilience of those who endured. The Las Vegas shooting stands as both a tragedy and a mystery. It reminds us of how fragile moments of joy can be, yet also how strong the human spirit is when tested. It leaves behind questions that may never be answered fully, but it also leaves behind stories of love, of bravery, of strangers who became heroes in the blink of an eye. It reminds us that even in the harshest of nights, there can be a flicker of light. As we reflect on that evening, we are reminded of the beauty of gathering, of singing, of living in moments of connection. Though sorrow touched that night deeply, the memories of those who were lost continue to ripple outward through their families, their friends, and the countless lives they touched in their time on earth. And perhaps, in remembering, we honor them by carrying forward kindness, by seeking peace, and by holding our loved ones a little closer. The story of October 1st, 2017 is not one that ends neatly, for the ache remains. But in the soft telling of it, there is space for peace. There is space for gratitude for the courage shown, and for the reminder that even in tragedy, humanity has the power to rise. As the lights of Las Vegas continue to shine into the desert sky, they carry with them the memory of those who danced, who sang, who laughed, and who loved beneath them. And in that way, their spirits remain, woven forever into the music of the night. Thank you for listening. Sleep well.